Hello, my name is Trinity from Trinity Educational Mission, here to introduce some of the latest research in education. Have you ever wondered, can the experiences I've had throughout my life affect my child? When we talk about a child's behavior or personality, we usually look first at the child's environment. We think about how things are going at school, what their relationship with friends are like, and what kind of education they are receiving. But recent research is taking this question one step further. Researchers are also becoming increasingly interested in what parents themselves have experienced throughout their lives. Researchers looked at how parents' experiences of adversity and positive experiences from childhood through adulthood are related to their child's developmental, psychological, and behavioral outcomes. The researchers searched 10 databases and ultimately identified 7 studies that met their criteria. And they found something very important. Parents' experiences of adversity were consistently associated with negative developmental, psychological, and behavioral outcomes in their children. In other words, the difficulties that parents experience throughout their lives may not simply end with the parents. In some way, those experiences may become connected to the lives of their children. But this raises an important question. If a parent has experienced difficult things in life, does that mean their child will inevitably experience the same difficulties? The importance of this study is not that a parent's past determines a child's future. Rather, it suggests that parents' experiences may be connected to their child's developmental trajectories. And that connection can take many forms. For example, imagine someone who is frequently criticized by their parents while growing up. If that person has never really reflected on those experiences, they may unconsciously respond to their own child in similar ways when that child makes a mistake. They might say, "Why can't you even do that?" Or, "Other children can do that, why can't you?" And these kinds of comments may become repeated patterns in the relationship. But that same parent might also look back on their own experience and think, "I remember how painful it was to hear those things when I was growing up. I want to give my child a different experience." At that moment, the meaning of the past can begin to change. The past does not have to be repeated. Instead, it can become an opportunity to reflect on how we are parenting our children today. When we think about this research from a parent's perspective, I think one question is especially important. What have I experienced is important, but perhaps an even more important question is, how does this experience still affect me today? Some parents may not have received enough attention when they were growing up. Because of that, they may want to make sure their children never receive plenty of attention. On the other hand, some parents may place extremely high expectations on their children. And sometimes, those expectations may not simply come from wanting a better future for the child. They may also be connected to the parent's own experiences of failure, insecurity, or anxiety. My child has to be more successful than I was. My child must never fall behind. When these thoughts become a pattern, parents may see their behavior as an expression of love and concern, but the child may experience the same behavior as pressure or stress. So the goal for parents is not to criticize themselves or to feel guilty about their parenting. Instead, we can begin with a simple question. Why do I react this way? When I become unusually angry about my child's behavior, when I become extremely anxious about my child's grades, when I find it difficult to accept the possibility that my child might fall behind other children, perhaps it is worth pausing for a moment and asking, could this reaction be connected not only to my child's situation, but also to something from my own past? There is another interesting part of this study. The researchers did not only look at parents' negative experiences. They also examined whether parents' positive experiences might have an impact on their children. The findings in this area were not yet consistent. But thinking about our positive experiences raising an important question for parents. What good experiences have I received throughout my life that I would like to pass on to my child? For example, if someone believed in me when I was going through a difficult time, perhaps I can believe in my child when they fail. If someone gave me an opportunity to try again after I made a mistake, perhaps I can tell my child, "It's okay, let's try again." These may seem like small things, but these small experiences can become meaningful and positive experiences in a child's life. So, I like to leave you with 3 questions. First, what experiences from my childhood still influence the way I parent today? It's important to recognize both the good and the bad. Second, what kind of experiences am I repeatedly giving my child? How do I respond when my child makes a mistake? What kind of things do I repeatedly say to my child? When my child is struggling, do I criticize first or do I listen first? Third, what good experiences from my own life do I want to pass on to my child? Think about the love you received, the encouragement someone gave you, and the opportunity you were given to start again. Think about those experiences and ask yourself, is my child having those kind of experiences too? As we reflect on this study, parents do not need to feel guilty. None of us get to choose the experiences we had in the past. What matters is not only what we experienced, but also how we understand those experiences today and how we respond to them. Being hurt in the past does not mean that we will inevitably pass that hurt on to our children. In fact, when parents understand their own experiences, they may be able to create new and different experiences for their children. Our past does not determine our children's future, but how we understand our past and the experiences we create for our children today can have important meaning in their development. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to this channel.